Wait a minute. This is too intense all of a sudden.
You like it, don't you? She doesn't do this for you.
Don't say that, sis.
Call me by my name, like you always do.
I was standing in front of the bedroom door. I immediately realized that my husband's companion was my sister, Emily. I felt nauseous and pinched my hand to calm the urge to burst in right away. I need to calm down first. I took out my smartphone and recorded their conversation. I never thought my husband's affair partner was my sister. I noticed something was off when I came home. I'm home. There were women's bags on the table that I had never seen before. I immediately knew he was bringing a woman into the house. Then I heard voices from the bedroom upstairs, so I went straight to the front of that room. They were getting into it, their voices echoing throughout the house.
But why did you come to this house today?
Because you find it more exciting this way, right?
That's true, but we usually met at your parents' house.
We've been careful not to get caught until now. She is so clueless and never noticed.
You got that right. She'd never guess we're in this kind of relationship. What a fool.
I understood why I hadn't realized their relationship until now. They had been meeting secretly at my parents' house. Still, I continued recording as evidence, wondering what our parents would think if they heard this. I couldn't keep my sanity otherwise. I thought about stepping in, but my feet wouldn't move forward. Why? Inside, they were in the middle of sexual intercourse. I didn't want to see that.
Hey, when are you going to have my baby?
No, that would be bad. Your husband would find out, right?
It's fine. If I sleep with my husband too, he won't suspect anything. He's clueless anyway.
What a terrible wife you are.
Not as bad as you.
Listening to such a conversation gave me a headache and made me nauseous. I was at my breaking point. So, I decided to call out to my husband. Where are you? Realizing my presence, the two of them seemed to panic and I heard the sound of a window opening. They probably tried to hide on the balcony. But that was the worst possible choice. Because today, it was heavily snowing. They really did it now. I slowly entered the room and looked around. Clothes were strewn about in disarray. They had gone outside completely naked. Looking out, I saw them huddled in a corner, trying to remain unseen. I immediately locked the window. And then, I thought about what kind of punishment to give them. I never imagined I'd find such excitement in this. My name is Kate, 34 years old, working in sales at a local company. I lived with my husband Jack, who is 3 years older than me. I met Jack at one of my sales appointments. In my mid-20s, I had just started a new job and was still getting used to it. I remember that he treated me politely. Thank you so much.
Not at all. Keep up your good work.
Yes. At the time, I just thought he was a good person. It took some time before we met again, but it turned out to be a fateful encounter. I have a sister, Emily, whose classmate was Jack. Emily got married 3 years ago, and Jack was one of the attendees at the wedding.
Do you remember me?
Well, I've seen you at work, right?
That's right.
I never expected to meet you here. If you don't mind me asking, how do you know my sister?
Emily and I were classmates in high school and college.
I see. While we were having a friendly chat, Emily, the star of the day, came over.
Oh, You two know each other.
Well, we've met through work. He helped me a lot.
Oh, come on, it was nothing really.
But thanks to you, I managed to close a deal.
That must be due to your own abilities.
As we continued this back and forth, Emily started laughing. What's so funny?
I was just thinking you two seem to have good chemistry.
Don't tease us like that.
I'm actually quite serious about it.
Thanks to my sister's meddling, Jack and I ended up exchanging contact information. Still, I thought Jack might be bothered by Emily's pushiness. However, about a week after we exchanged phone numbers, he called me. Hello.
Sorry for the sudden call.
I'm okay. What's up?
Well,
What is it?
would you like to go out for dinner with me sometime?
Yes, of course. I responded reflexively.
Then, I'll contact you again.
He said so, and then hung up. I wasn't against it, but it was too late to refuse now. To be honest, having no experience in love, I didn't know what to do. It was just a dinner, but I felt nervous. At that time, I was still living at my parents' house, so I talked to Emily. She wanted to live with our parents even after getting married, so she stayed at home.
So you got asked out. That's nice, isn't it?
Nice. I have no experience with dating.
Then you did the right thing asking me for advice.
Emily had always been popular. She used to bring various guys home during her student days. I thought I could get good advice from her, but that was a mistake. She had calmed down since becoming an adult, but she enjoyed forcing her advice on me, who was more reserved. And how many times had she made me cry?
You should just go with the flow. I've got your back, so you don't need to worry.
So, what should I do?
How about trying to seduce him?
What are you talking about?
Jack is weak for that sort of thing.
Wait a minute. I'm just going to have dinner.
What are you saying? It's not going to end there.
Emily continued to give me off-the-mark advice. Moreover, the problem didn't stop there. Because my parents doted on Emily, she could do whatever she wanted. They preferred her over me, finding her easier to please with flattery. I actually wanted to move out right after graduating college, but I wasn't allowed. They wanted to keep me close, despite their lack of genuine interest. Then the day of the dinner arrived.
Good luck, Kate.
I'm off then. The dinner turned out to be a success. It was much more enjoyable than feeling cramped at home.
Would you mind meeting again sometime?
If you're okay with me.
That's great. I'm not very used to women, you see.
I'm not used to men either.
No, I'm less used to it.
No, I am. During this exchange, we burst out laughing. It had been a long time since I felt this happy. Our relationship naturally progressed. But Emily wasn't happy about it. Despite her previous encouragement.
What? You're really dating him?
Yes, but is there a problem?
I never thought you'd actually date him. Did you follow my advice?
Of course not.
Why has it come to this?
The reason why Emily encouraged failure became clear from an unexpected person. Really? Was it? That person was my brother-in-law, Sean.
It's true. You know I met Emily in college, right?
Yes, she told me.
I also became friends with Jack back then. It seems she had a crush on him since high school, but he had a girlfriend, so she couldn't do anything about it.
But why tell me this?
I overheard you talking. She's not all bad, you know.
Sean looked somewhat sad. He truly cared for Emily. Yet, she was still obsessed with a man she liked in the past. And this issue was deeper and more complicated than I had thought, leading to unforeseen consequences. I started dating Jack, but Emily started asking me every step of the way. She would come to my room and stay until she heard answers that satisfied her, which was disturbing.
And what else?
Nothing else.
Come on, like if you went to a hotel or something.
I'm not saying anything about that. This was my small act of defiance. After that, Emily calmed down. A year had passed since Jack and I started dating. On my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
This is my birthday present for you.
What is it? Inside the small box was a beautiful ring. Really? Is this?
I want you to marry me.
I'm so happy. I'd love to go through life with you.
I will always make you happy.
Thus, I was overjoyed by his proposal. Not just because I would be with Jack, but because I could finally leave my parents' house. We kept our excitement in check and went to greet both families. We first greeted Jack's parents, who welcomed us more warmly than expected. The problem was my family.
So, Kate is getting married.
We welcome Jack.
Thank you. Even my parents, who hadn't shown much interest in me, seemed genuinely happy. But Emily couldn't keep quiet.
What? You're not going to live here.
Emily, what are you talking about? You two live here together. We don't have any more room, and that's just not possible.
Then, why not expand the house? There are plenty of ways to do it.
Don't be ridiculous, Emily. That's impossible.
Emily's desperation was extraordinary. However, this was my aim. After that, she desperately tried to keep me in the house.
You've done enough. It's not your place to dictate their lives.
Just be quiet.
You.
Sean seemed taken aback by her tirade. Anyway, we will look for our own place.
Yes, we will.
So, we're going to find a new home for ourselves.
If that's what you two have decided, then go ahead.
Thank you. I never forgot the look of frustration on Emily's face when I left home. Leaving home allowed me a period of peace. Though it was in the next city, we rented a house at a very reasonable price. Being with someone I loved brought me immense happiness. Though I had moved out, we would still gather at my parents' house for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Having never been away for even a few months, I felt a bit nervous returning. Hello, I'm home.
Welcome back. It's good to see you.
Yeah. Where's my sis?
Oh, she went shopping.
Hi, long time no see.
Jack, you look well. Come on in.
Sitting on the living room sofa, we were offered more snacks than we could possibly eat. We can't possibly eat all this.
Well, it's been a while.
But it's only been a few months.
Don't hold back.
I never expected to be welcomed so warmly because Emily had always been the priority. Then Emily and Sean returned from shopping.
Oh, Kate, you're here.
Long time no see. I greeted them, but Emily ignored me and went straight to the kitchen.
Jack, long time. Have you gained some weight?
Yay, Kate's cooking is just too good.
That's good to hear. You do seem happy.
Thanks to you.
The family gathered, and we enjoyed chatting over tea. However, my usually talkative sister was quiet today. After about an hour, my mom noticed something.
By the way, did you get the usual cake from the bakery in front of the station?
Oh, I forgot it.
Come on, get a grip on yourself.
But it's fine without it.
What are you saying? We do this every year. What should we do? Can we still make it if we go now?
Then Jack volunteered.
I'll go get it. I came by car today anyway.
But that's too much trouble.
No problems. It's no bother at all. I'll be right back.
Okay. As Jack was preparing to leave, Emily insisted on going with him.
It's my fault, so I should go. Besides, Jack won't know what to get. Let's go.
She practically dragged him out by the arm. Seeing this, my dad let out a heavy sigh. What's wrong?
Emily has been acting strange lately.
She's forgetful and seems to lack motivation in everything.
Emily, once the center of attention, was now considered a nuisance by our parents. Sean also looked a bit tired. It seemed that the roles between my sister and me had reversed since I left home. An awkward silence lingered. The bakery in front of the station was only a 10-minute drive away. Yet, they were taking too long. My mom was the one to notice.
It's taking them unusually long, isn't it?
Indeed, it's been over an hour now. A nameless anxiety gripped me. Eventually, they returned home 30 minutes later.
You two took quite a while.
The traffic was bad.
Did you get what you went for?
We got it.
I checked the bag handed over by Emily. But my mom froze upon seeing it.
What is this?
That's what we were asked to get.
Where did you go? This is completely wrong, even though you went together. Never mind.
My mom was exhausted.
It doesn't matter anyway.
I heard her mutter under her breath. Looking closer, I noticed Emily's hair was disheveled. I observed her carefully. And it seemed Sean also noticed something. Our eyes met suddenly. He seemed like he wanted to say something to me.
What are they really up to?
Despite the family gathering, the atmosphere couldn't have been worse. Why did it have to come to this? The Thanksgiving atmosphere was awkward, to say the least. Returning home, I felt an overwhelming wave of exhaustion and fell asleep on the sofa, only to be awakened by Jack speaking on the phone.
Really? It's okay. It won't get out.
I asked him, "Who are you talking to?" Startled, he looked at me. He hung up the phone and came toward me.
You're up.
Who was on the phone?
A colleague from work.
That sounded pretty friendly, though. As I pressed on, I could feel him getting increasingly irritated.
There's no point in lying to you. What do you want to say?
Nothing. I tried to end the conversation, but Jack grabbed my arm and wouldn't let go.
Do you doubt me? What is it?
His eyes, usually so gentle, were intense and fixated. That hurts. Let go.
Will you stop doubting me then?
I'll do as you say. Finally, he let go of my arm. But the mark remained on my arm. From this point on, I was afraid of Jack. 2 months later, I was on my way to the hospital after a call from my mom. My dad had fallen down the stairs at home and fractured a bone. Are you okay?
Somehow, I'm okay.
You fell down the stairs.
I was really careless.
My dad was due to be discharged in a few months, but he would need family support to fully recover. We were relieved since my brother-in-law lived with my parents, but he was unfortunately scheduled for a 2-month business trip at a crucial time. On this day, the family gathered at the home.
I'm sorry to leave the house at such a time.
It can't be helped. Don't worry about me and just do your best.
Yes, thank you.
But what should we do? My back is bad too.
Then I will. Jack interrupted, offering to take care of my dad.
I can look after him.
Are you sure?
You have work too. It must be tough, right?
I can come every day, but I can make it on weekends.
But you're newlyweds, aren't you?
Kate is okay with it, right?
Well, yes, that's okay.
Having a man around would be better. Let's go with that.
But, you know,
Don't you care what happens to Dad?
that's not what I said.
Realizing the conversation was going nowhere, I accepted Jack's offer, unaware it was the beginning of a terrible scenario. After that, Jack started visiting my parents' house every Saturday. Around the same time, I began to notice a sweet scent coming from him. I didn't miss it. Do you smell something sweet?
Do I?
What kind of perfume is that?
Perfume.
I could see Jack's face contort at the question. Could he be hiding something? I pressed on with my questions. But I feel like I've smelled this scent before. Where was it? I asked deliberately.
It must be your imagination.
Are you sure you don't know?
It's annoying. I don't know any women's perfume.
I didn't miss his slip. Nobody said it was women's perfume. How did you know?
Sweet scents are usually women's, aren't they?
It was a flimsy excuse. Tell me what you know. In that moment, something flew past my face. I looked back fearfully. There was a shattered mug.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
I sat down on the spot. The mag didn't hit me, but I imagined that if this had hit me in the face. I saw that my hands were trembling.
I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. It was just a reflex.
I was at a loss for words, recalling the fear I had felt before. From that moment, I felt a threat to my life and couldn't confront Jack strongly. My situation changed with a single phone call. My dad's condition had improved, and he was able to walk somewhat without crutches. I heard about it over the phone. How's your leg?
I'm getting around much easier now.
That's good to hear. How about Jack?
He's been a big help. He's really considerate towards me.
Hearing that, I felt relieved.
By the way, Shun wants your contact information. Is it okay to give it to him?
That's fine, but why? We hadn't exchanged contacts. There just hadn't been an opportunity. Sean contacted me that night.
Sorry for the sudden call.
It's okay. You're returning from your business trip soon, right?
Yo, in about 2 weeks.
I see. Not much longer then.
About why I asked for your contact.
He started explaining. What do you mean?
I've been concerned for a while. I couldn't say it before.
I've been feeling the same, actually.
You felt it too.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you, but I don't know what to do.
I was exactly the same as you.
Then, I'll also keep an eye on them.
I should be the one doing it, but I'm not nearby right now.
If I find out anything, I'll contact you immediately.
Thank you.
I felt a bit relieved knowing Sean shared my concerns. I couldn't just do nothing. I decided to investigate Jack's detailed actions. I made the request and just had to wait for the results. I wanted to sort things out before Sean returned. Really? What does that mean? I had requested the investigation for about a week, but there were no particularly suspicious findings. During weekdays, he went to work and came home as usual. On weekends, Jack would go to my parents' house in the morning to take care of my dad and return home at night. I told Sean about this Jack routine.
Is that so?
Could we have been mistaken?
Maybe.
It's good there's nothing wrong, but it still feels odd.
I get it. It's like unfinished business.
Maybe it's because we suspected something from the start. We decided to be relieved that nothing was amiss and continue our normal lives. There was 1 week left until Sean returned. 2 days later, my dad was fully recovered, so Jack's help was no longer needed. Thank you for taking care of my dad so much.
My pleasure.
You seem down, though.
Not really.
His words and expressions didn't match. A week passed without any significant changes. Then, on Saturday noon, my parents called.
Can you come over now? We need to ask you something.
That's okay, but what happened?
We have a favor to ask.
Okay, I'll come. I immediately told Jack. My parents asked me to come over, so I'll be going.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's why.
All right, take your time.
Sure. He seemed to smile in a pleased way. There was a heavy snow forecast for the day. I wish they hadn't asked me to come today. When I arrived, my parents greeted me together. It's cold outside. What did you need?
For now, just sit down.
We then engaged in endless small talk. By the way, where's Emily?
Emily left to see her friend before you arrived.
What? In this weather? But more importantly, what did you want to ask?
Well, what was it, dear?
I totally forgot. I wonder what it was.
What's this about? If there's no reason, I'm going back home.
You came all the way here. Stay and relax for a while.
My parents seemed desperate to keep me there. Eventually, time passed, and it was after 5 p.m.
The snow is getting heavier. You might not be able to go back. Maybe you should call Jack.
Should I call him?
Well, you might end up stuck here.
Okay, I'll do that. Following my dad's suggestion, I called Jack. He said it couldn't be helped and hung up immediately. But I felt an odd premonition. I felt like I was hearing something behind Jack during the call. Once I think that, I can help worrying about it. Sorry, I've decided to go home after all.
All right, be careful then.
Thanks for today. The snow might have already piled up about 5 centimeters. Trembling from the cold, I hurried home. I'm home. I noticed something unusual the moment I opened a front door. There were women's bags on the table that I had never seen before. I immediately knew he was bringing a woman into the house. Then I heard voices from the bedroom upstairs, so I went straight to the front of that room.
Wait a minute. This is too intense all of a sudden.
You like it, don't you? She doesn't do this for you.
Don't say that, sis.
Call me by my name, like you always do.
I immediately realized that my husband's companion was my sister, Emily. I felt nauseous and pinched my hand to calm the urge to burst in right away. I need to calm down first. I took out my smartphone and recorded their conversation. I never thought my husband's affair partner was my sister. They were getting into it, their voices echoing throughout the house.
But why did you come to this house today?
Because you find it more exciting this way, right?
That's true, but we usually met at your parents' house.
We've been careful not to get caught until now. She is so clueless and never noticed.
You got that right. She'd never guess we're in this kind of relationship. What a fool.
I understood why I hadn't realized their relationship until now. They had been meeting secretly at my parents' house. I doubted their relationship, but I just assumed they wouldn't do that where my parents were. That's why I didn't see anything wrong when I asked for their investigation. Still, I continued recording as evidence, wondering what our parents would think if they heard this. I couldn't keep my sanity otherwise. I thought about stepping in, but my feet wouldn't move forward. Why? Inside, they were in the middle of sexual intercourse. I didn't want to see that.
Hey, when are you going to have my baby?
No, that would be bad. Your husband would find out, right?
It's fine. If I sleep with my husband too, he won't suspect anything. He's clueless anyway.
What a terrible wife you are.
Not as bad as you. Besides, he will come back tomorrow. Our secret meetings will be difficult from now on. It's a good time today.
All right.
Listening to such a conversation gave me a headache and made me nauseous. I was at my breaking point. So, I decided to call out to my husband. Where are you? Realizing my presence, the two of them seemed to panic and I heard the sound of a window opening. They probably tried to hide on the balcony. But that was the worst possible choice. They really did it now. I slowly entered the room and looked around. Clothes were strewn about in disarray. They had gone outside completely naked. Looking out, I saw them huddled in a corner, trying to remain unseen. I immediately locked the window. And then, I thought about what kind of punishment to give them. I'll let you two stay here for a bit. I left the bedroom and went down to the first floor. Head to the kitchen and slowly make coffee. Finish making the coffee and go back to the bedroom. I sipped my coffee while looking toward the balcony. It seems too cold outside, and they come banging desperately on the window.
Open the window. We'll freeze out here.
I ignored such desperate pleas. An idea struck me. I grabbed my smartphone and made calls, first to my parents and then to Jack's parents, telling them it was an emergency and managing to convince them to come over. The last call was to Sean. I'm sure he came back today.
Perfect timing. I was just about to contact you.
Oh, really?
Are you at home?
Yes, I am at home.
Did something happen to make you call?
Yeah, actually. I hesitated, thinking it wouldn't be a surprise if I revealed everything then.
So, I should head to your place, right?
Yes, please come to my house.
I just arrived at the station, so I'll be there soon. See you soon.
With that, all the key players were set to converge. What puzzled me was Sean's reaction. He seemed too understanding, almost as if he knew what was happening. Unable to figure it out, I simply waited for everyone to arrive. Both sets of parents arrived first and waited in the living room. 10 minutes later, Sean showed up.
Sorry I'm late. The roads were packed because of the snow.
It's fine. Please come this way. Now, all the family members were gathered in the living room.
So, what happened? You said it was urgent, so we rushed over despite the snow.
It's about time you tell us.
It's about the two people who aren't here.
We know Emily's absence is typical, but where's Jack?
That's what I'm about to show you. Will you come with me? I led everyone to the upstairs bedroom.
What in the world?
Look over there. Pointing towards the balcony, everyone saw the two naked figures looking back at us.
What's going on here?
I thought it would be fatal to leave them like this, so I unlocked the window.
We almost died.
Can we get something warm, please?
I threw blankets at them.
Can someone explain what this means?
My dad, red with anger, looked ready to strike them. They've been having an affair. Emily looked at Sean, shocked.
Why are you here?
He returned from his business trip today.
That can't be. You told me you were coming back tomorrow.
I had heard that his return was today. In fact, Sean was here right now. I was confused. Sean began to clarify.
I anticipated this might happen and devised a plan. Lying about my return date was part of it.
Sean then turned to me.
Sorry, Kate. I had to use you in my plan.
Is that so? Sean also asked my parents to help him. That's why I was suddenly told to come my parents' home. My dad stopping me from leaving was also Sean's instruction. So, you knew about their affair?
No, it was just a suspicion. I couldn't quite believe it when Kate reported it.
I'm sorry. I never thought they would do such a thing at parents' home. In hindsight, Jack was the first to volunteer to take care of Dad when he broke his leg.
Let's leave the explanations here and think about what to do with them. They are fools caught in their own trap.
They remained silent, heads bowed, refusing to speak. So, I decided to let everyone listen to the recording. If you won't talk, I'll help you.
What are you going to do?
Listen to this. As the recording played, their voices filled the room. By just hearing that, it is clear what they were doing.
Stop, stop.
You're not in any position to say that. Listen to it all. Disgust filled everyone's eyes.
What a joke. You are no longer family to us.
It was a mistake to show you love.
Don't show us your face again.
See? Jack was close to tears.
I never imagined you to be such a woman. I knew you still had feelings for Jack, but I genuinely loved you.
The same here.
Hey, who said you could speak?
Hatred filled Sean's eyes, almost bringing me to tears with its intensity.
So, what will you do now? What do you think is best?
Well, divorce is certain, and then there's the matter of alimony.
Should we just leave them outside again?
Hearing this, they made a final stand.
It's all because you were always busy with work and never paid attention to me.
That's no excuse for infidelity. If you want to argue, at least make it logical. Your stupidity is showing, or maybe it's already obvious.
She was at a loss for words. Anything else you want to say, cheater?
I was just seduced by Emily.
Blaming me. You were eager, too. Weren't you the one who invited me to the hotel that time?
That time?
When we went to buy the cake together,
Oh, that happened. That was during Thanksgiving. I remember. It must have all started from there. I want to ask you one last question. Why did you seduce Jack?
Because it annoyed me to see you happy. You've always been bad with men.
So, you were jealous because I got the man you used to like.
That's right.
That's ridiculous. Such a monkey isn't worth it. You should face reality. I could only laugh. Enough of this. Being around these people might dumb us down. Let's go.
hey, wait a minute.
Don't talk to me so casually. I slowly closed the bedroom door. Outside, the snow grew heavier. I could not stay here, but went to the nearest house of my parents. On the way, I couldn't stop thinking about what would become of the two now abandoned by the family. The in-laws stayed the night at my parents' place and left the next day. Then, they apologized again and declared that from now on, Jack would be nothing more than a stranger to them.
Shall we go then?
Let's go. Sean and I went together for the divorce and alimony discussions. Having the recording made the process much smoother. The divorce was finalized quickly, and we proceeded with the alimony claim. Today was the day Sean was leaving my parents' home.
Thank you for everything.
You were like our son. We're going to miss you.
I really do.
It would have been better if you two got married instead.
Stop it, please, Dad. While we were having this peaceful time, those two showed up. And Jack was inexplicably bald. Are you here to repent? It's too ridiculous to even laugh at. What are you doing here? Then, they both started to apologize.
We've been abandoned by our parents. Kate is the only one we can turn to now.
Forgive us, please.
Weren't you told never to show your faces again?
Exactly what Dad said. Besides, we're divorced now. We're strangers, so please just leave. Yet, they still wouldn't give up. This is just a nuisance.
Stop showing us this pathetic sight. We can't stand it any longer.
Then Sean reached out to Emily.
Are you going to help me?
I watched nervously.
Help, you're mistaken. I just wanted you to get out of the way.
I couldn't help laughing at Emily's disappointed face. Eventually, my stomach is going to hurt. That's right, so you better leave now. It looks like Dad is reaching his limit. My dad stood there, arms crossed, looking almost proud. Seeing this, the two hurriedly left.
They finally left.
Well, I guess it's time for me to go too.
Feel free to visit whenever you like.
Since then, I've been living at my parents' house. I keep in touch with Sean, and we occasionally go out for drinks. What the future holds is uncertain, but I'm sure it will be enjoyable.